Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today is Friday, November the 10th, 2023. Happy Veterans Day to everyone. Happy Veterans Day. I really thank you all for joining me. I'm not going to make today's shows long for the fact that it is Veterans Day and that I know many people are off and just relaxing. But of course, I come to you each and every Friday at 12 noon to talk about the latest real estate topics and also whatever is the topic of choice or anything that's going on in the world today. So, what's going on, nephew? So let me begin as always. In the wonderful world of real estate, today I'm going to talk about cash offers. Hold on for 1 second. My song is finishing up. Alexa, turn the volume up. I do not own the rights to this song. There's nothing my God cannot do. There's nothing my God cannot do. There's nothing my God cannot do. Just gonna finish that song up because I was playing it before I got on. You know that's a good God. Woo! Yeah, somebody did say they see I shaved off my facial hair. Yeah. I had to get some skin treatment done, so I wanted to get underneath my beard. So I took it off, but of course it's always gonna grow back. But like the song says, my God. Mm. Alexa, turn the volume down to 1. Okay, now back to the wonderful world of real estate. Today I'm going to talk about cash offers because I recently had someone who inquired about that and asked me about what's a cash offer. Is it different from an FHA loan? I mean, this is the question that the person asked. So everyone doesn't know all the terminology when it pertains to real estate. So they asked me, was it different from an FHA loan? Was it different from a jumbo loan? Was it different from a conventional loan? Was it different from a VA loan? And I explained to them, yes. Typically I told them that in most cases, unless someone hits a large sum, gets hold of a large sum of money to where they can buy a house flat out with straight cash, most of the time cash offers typically come from most investors these days. Like I said, unless someone has a lot of money they're sitting on, they decide to go buy a house for just straight cash. Most typical people who purchase home don't have money just sitting around like that. So a lot of times most cash offers, they do tend to come from investors. Now, even when they make these cash offers, sometimes it is with straight cash, liquid cash, cash that's sitting in the bank, their access, money they have saved up, money in their 401k, money that they have pulled from their, IULs and their life insurance policies, money that they have, combined with a group. Because in some cases, people buy properties, especially with cash, they do not always use their names when they're purchasing properties with cash. Most investors, they normally typically put the offer in a LLC and they use the cash. Now, like I said, in one aspect, it is actual cash. In the other aspect, it is actually hard money, a hard money loan that is basically what is what the people are actually using. So you ask, what is a hard money loan? Basically, a hard money loan is a type of loan that is secured by a real estate property. Hard money loans are considered loans of last resort or short-term bridge loans. Hard money loans are a form of short-term financing with the loan terms lasting typically between 3 months to 36 months. Hard money lenders can lend up to 65 to 75% of the property's current value at a high interest rate. And this is the thing, it's normally at a high interest rate. People are complaining about the interest rate today. Oh, 7% is too high, 8% is too high. But if you're using a hard money loan, like I said, it's for a term of 3 to 36 months because it's normally a short-term loan that's being given to a buyer who typically has purchased the home to do some type of flip, which is the renovation, where they can buy the property low, sell it high. But in order to buy the property, they have to get that finance. So that's part of the reason why they're trying to buy it low. Now, when I say a high interest rate, meaning that in most cases that the percentage on a hard money loan is anywhere from 10 up to like 22%. That's on a hard money loan. And that's the typical what they're borrowing during that time period. So let's say hypothetically, if it is for 3 months, okay, or 6 months, I'm going to use 6 months. Let's say it's for 6 months. That money that they have borrowed, Let me use numbers just to give you an example. If that money that they have borrowed for, let's say, a house that's 300,000 for 6 months, and they doing 10% on top of that, they're borrowing it for each month at that rate. That's why when people are using and purchasing properties to flip, that they're on a timeline, they're on a schedule. The sooner they buy the house, the sooner they do the renovation, the sooner they can resell it and do the ARV, which is getting them the after resale value, the sooner they can recuperate their money, because they're going to have to pay their hard money lender that percentage during that time. So people who are complaining about 7%, I understand, but hard money loans, they typically hit your head for more than that. So with cash offers, understand that in most cases, when people are buying homes, when they're trying to renovate and flip the homes, a lot of people are using hard money lenders to do the job, because most people cannot finance it, and they are not putting the properties in their name. They're actually putting the properties in an LLC. Typically, whatever the address of the property that's being purchased, they will use that address and do an LLC. They will get an LLC real quick, and then once they get it, they'll make that connection and put that in there as the buyer, and that's whoever's in charge of the articles of incorporation, which is linked to the LLC, means that's the person who signs off on it. They're like the personal representative. Those are the people who use that, and they use the hard money loan to secure the property for that time being. And during that time being, they try to sell it and then get more money. So I just wanted to explain that. Now, if you have any questions, or if you didn't thoroughly understand that, and hopefully I explained it in a way that you could understand it, please shoot me a message, because I get asked these questions all the time. And what I do is come onto my podcast to simplify those questions to hopefully have someone else who did not understand something before to typically understand something now. So if you have any questions pertaining to hard money loans or anything else, please shoot me a message. So the next question is going to be, I'm going to get into the Q&A. So give me 1 second, y'all. The Q&A. Okay, so the Q&A, which is normally my questions and answers segment, is when people will ask questions and I will go ahead on and answer them. So let me begin. All right, let's see what we got. If you have any questions, please post them so I can answer them. I have one question right now, but I'm looking to see if I have any more questions before I answer this first question. All right, let's see what we got going on, good people. All right, the first question is, when selling a house and putting it on the market, does both couples have to sign, or can either person sign? When selling a house and putting it up on the market, does both couples have to sign, or can either person sign? That's a very good question, because in some cases where there might be a couple going through a divorce and both people's names are on the deed and property, can one of the spouses, one of the people who's on there, sign when listing the property? And the answer is yes, they can sign, but here's the catcher, okay? They can sign to initially list the property, but when an offer comes in on the property, unless that person has given the other person the power of attorney to be the personal representative and to sign off, they both are going to have to sign the contract and or sign the documents at settlement. So yes, when you initially are listing the property, yes, because one of the persons is on the deed. So as long as one of the persons is on the deed, they can sign on the listing agreement to list the property, but they cannot finalize the sale of that property unless the other party gives them power of attorney, or they both sign the contract and also the closing documents at settlement. So just keep that in mind. Again, the question was, when a house is put up and put it on the market, does both couples have to sign, or can either person sign? And the answer is yes, either person can sign to initially list the property, but both people are going to have to sign the contract and also sign the closing disclosures unless one of the person gives power of attorney to the other person? That's a great question, because I've been asked that question many times when I've initially listed some homes. And when I've listed a home, sometimes it's in situations where people are going through a separation and or a divorce. And if they are going through a divorce, a lot of times I ask to see the divorce decree, because the judge a lot of times has the final say so what's going to happen with that house. So, but in some cases, if the house is already listed and then that listing agreement is sent to the courts during that time period, just getting the judge to know that during the final sign off, it has to be from both parties. So that's a great question. Let me see. Now, again, today is Veterans Day, so I'm not going to keep y'all that long, but I want to see if I have any more questions. Hold on. Let me see. Okay. 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 Let me see. All right. All right. Let me go back. All right. So I guess because it's Veterans Day, that's the only question today. So let me go to my topic of the day. Like I said, today is Veterans Day. So I'm not going to hold everyone that long, but I did want to show my face and let you all see that I still come through, even when some of you all don't. Hold on. I'll be right back. All right. Today's topic is therapy is needed. Now, the reason I want to talk about this topic, and I'm not going to spend too much time on it. The reason why I want to talk about this topic, because I realized in my life that I've been through a lot of things personally, and at my church they tend to offer free counseling, free therapy. So honestly, when it was first offered, I didn't want to attend because I really felt like I didn't need to go to therapy. What do I need to go to therapy for? I mean, I deal with, just like most people, I deal with problems as they come. So there's a lady she's a therapist. She was sitting in my session. So I just had to talk with her. I said, one day I'm gonna come see you. She was like, oh, okay, take your time. Take your time. So I see a lot of behavior with people all the time. We all have. We've seen people act crazy. We've seen people in toxic relationships. We've seen people doing things like kids can be bad and they don't think nothing's wrong with it. We see that the world is going crazy with all the criminals everywhere, and there's no consequences for the behaviors of a lot of things that has happened. But at the same time, though, there have been like a lot of people who have not dealt with a lot of trauma, a lot of undealt trauma. Like us as a people, and I mean Black people, we have a lot of trauma that has been passed on from generation to generation through slavery, and we have not dealt with it. And in many ways, we do a lot of things similar, like our parents, our grandparents, like our ancestors have done, and we don't even realize it because of the fact we have not dealt with it. One of the things that I learned by going to therapy is there have been things that have been shown to me and said to me that I would have never thought of. I would have never thought of it. And I'm just saying, just by saying things. And I know one of the things, like many of you will know, that I lost all three of my brothers. I don't have any of my brothers anymore. I didn't grow up with any sisters. I didn't grow up with my mother in the house. I had only males. I had like my father, my brothers growing up, but my brothers are no longer here. So as a man, I've always been a certain type of way. But the therapist made me realize certain ways about my behavior, which made me kind of say, wow. And then a lot of times when I've realized with people, because I'm open-minded to listening to people, but I realize a lot of people are not. When you tend to tell people anything about themselves, they become deflective, they become defensive, and many times they are in denial. And then they'll even say sometimes that that's your opinion. But sometimes things are not opinions. Some things are actually factual, but we don't want to identify those things because nobody wants to think anything's wrong with them. Just like if you talk to anybody about a relationship, everybody always blames the other person, but nobody tends to say what they did wrong, in which whenever a relationship failed, regardless, a lot of times it's both people's fault. You understand? It might be one person more than the other, but it's always both people. But nobody tends to take accountability in a lot of things. So I say therapy is needed because of the fact is most Black people don't deal with trauma well. A lot of times black people, we get angry, we want to fight, we want to hurt somebody. And the reason why we want to hurt somebody is because we are hurt. And we don't even realize how hurt we are. We don't even realize that, what I'm saying, as simple as therapy. Now, I used to always hear, oh, I don't want to go talk to no stranger about my business. But the problem is when you don't talk to that stranger about your business comes out in your behavior some way or somehow. And you don't even realize that it's coming out in your behavior some way or somehow. But it actually is. That's why a lot of times we can see toxic behaviors and we think it's okay. We think it's okay to have toxic behavior and everything. We think that's normal because so much stuff has been normalized to us. That's just like if you grew up in the hood and you hear gunshots all the time and you see people fighting all the time, you think that's normal behavior. But reality, that's traumatized behavior. And we don't even realize it sometimes because it's so acceptable and it's such a norm nowadays. And what I say is to everyone, if you grew up in a broken home, if you grew up around someone who was on drug or alcohol addictive, if you had pedophile relatives, if you had loved ones that were murdered, if you were bullied as a kid, or if you got was the bully, if you did a lot of criminal behavior activities and stuff, and you're still into doing it and stuff, you need to seek therapy. Because whether you realize it or not, what I'm saying, we're all damaged goods out here some way, somehow. We might be good for the moment to somebody right now, but until you address what's going on eternally, you're going to always keep encountering the same problems over and over again. And sometimes the problems ain't relative to that person, it's relative to you, because sometimes we attract what's going on inside of us. But the problem is, like I said, therapy is needed for majority of everyone. I'm not saying everyone needs it, but I know a lot of people in the Black community do need it. But the problem is people don't want to talk to nobody. So you don't want to talk to the people you need to talk to, but you go talk to the other people who are going to support your toxic and bad behavior. And that's what a lot of people do. Just like sometimes guys will go talk to other guys who are doing the same thing as them, who would justify their behavior. Just like women would do the same thing. They'll go talk to other females about the bad behavior or bad traits of a man and stuff. But what they don't always say is what's going on with them. What did they do? What did they do wrong? See, people don't want to take accountability what they did wrong. It's easy to blame the other person. You know what I'm saying? Then when you get to talking to people, people don't want to listen. They don't want to hear it. They become defensive. They want to deny it. You know what I'm saying? They become deflected. They don't want to listen and stuff. So what I'm saying to you is there's so much going on in the world today and stuff. If we want to be a better person for our children, if we want to be a better person for, are you sending me a request? if we want to be a better person for our children, if we want to be a better person for our grandchildren, if we want to be a better person, period, I think therapy would easily help so many people resolve things. Because I'm gonna tell you something. I'm one of these people, and it is even my career as a real estate professional. And I also got my life insurance license. My mindset has always been to solve problems. That's how I saw many problems in real estate. You know what I'm saying? I've been good at it. I've been, in my opinion, great at it. When it pertains to my own problems, I think I've been relatively very good. But I can tell you, I only went and talked to this person for like 3 times. And 3 times when I went to go talk to this person, I can tell you there were things brought out that I would never in my entire life. And I'm 51 years old. I'm 51. There's nothing that I would have ever thought of. Because here's the thing about therapists. They ask the right question. They know based off whatever you tell them. I don't care what you've been through. They know which questions to ask. They know how to say it. And guess what? They'll say it in a way sometimes that none of the people that are close to you that will ever say it in a way. And if you're a person that listen and process things, you will basically get what it is that they're actually saying. So all I'm saying to you is that therapy helps a lot of people in many ways. And because it helps a lot of people in many ways, I think it's good for all of us to at least join therapy. Hello, Angie. What's going on? You requested to be on here? Hello, Angela. Angela. Not on purpose. Okay. All right. So let me see how I can get you all. I was wondering, but I was like, what you see? You know what I'm saying? Let me see how I can get you all. Can I get you all? I normally don't have people join me on my live and stuff, but all right, how do you get this person off? Let me see. Can I get them all? It just you got to hang up, Angie. Should be a hang up button for you. But here's the thing, going back to therapy. Like I said, many people out there, you know, what we fail to realize is we think that we are perfect in so many ways. And we might be perfect to ourselves, but we're not perfect to everyone. We think we are perfect when it pertains to the things we do. But guess what, though? We all can strive for self-improvement. See, personal development is something that we all should work on. We all should work on personal development, because if we develop personal development, we would develop better relationships with people. And if we can develop better relationship with people, that means we will have a bigger circle of positive role models and people in our lives that can help us to get to where we want to go in life. Because the one thing about life, we all have goals. We all have things that we want to do, whether it's traveling, whether it's earning a certain amount of money, whether it's leaving your kids a legacy, whether it's connecting with the right person. We all have things that we want to do. But here's the thing, though. We don't work on ourselves enough. So because we don't work on ourselves enough, we can always, like I say, point the finger at the other person. We can always say what's wrong with everybody else. We can always look on social media and go and comment and say all these things about what the video is going on about that person. But what's going on with you? You understand? What's really going on with you? Because trust and believe there's going to be some point in time in this thing called life that you're going to wish that you really did talk to somebody outside of the group of people that you call your friends or family and who is supporting your bad behavior. Because sometimes in life, you know what I'm saying, it seems like a lot of times the only time people talk to God is when they really need some money, they have health issues, they down on their luck, or things are going bad. But do you talk to God when things are going good? And do you talk to a therapist when you need them? And I just say that to say that therapy is needed amongst many people. What I suggest for you to do is to seek counseling, whether it's through your insurance. Like I said, at my church, they give free counseling. If you go to church, please seek and see if they give free counseling. And if they do, I would strongly suggest, because it has been an eye opener for me, you know. And again, like I said, I'm one of these people who believe in self-improvement. So I'm just putting it out there that therapy is needed, and especially men, because a lot of times men, we bottle up so much in ourselves that we try to handle everything by ourselves. Me, I'm a person who speaks and communicates with a lot of people, so I'll bottle things up to a certain extent, but the people that I feel comfortable with is the people that I would talk to about certain things, because I like to hear people's opinion on me, whether it's pertaining to real estate, even when I play basketball, whether it's pertaining to my kids, whether it's pertaining to anything. You know, I like to get outside counseling because I want to become better. I want to become great. That's just my personal goal. I want to become great in everything that I do. So when the day that I leave this earth and everything, that my legacy has been left in many ways with the people that I love, with my family, with, you know what I'm saying, with all the people that I've touched in this world. So again, I say therapy is needed, especially amongst Black people and Black men. Please go talk to someone, because you never know what it may do. It may change your life. It may help you become a better father, a better husband for those who are married, a better spouse, a better friend, you know, a better co-worker. It may just make you a better person. But the thing is, though, is you got to deny yourself first so you can get elevated to where it is that you need to be. So I just wanted to say therapy is needed. It's not necessary, but it's needed if you want to become a better person, because you'll be surprised at what others can see in you that you cannot see in yourself. So let me come back with my recap real quick, and I'm going to let y'all go because it's Veterans Day. Okay, quick recap. Please do not forget to follow me on all social media platforms / Damon the Agent. That's what it is on everything. That's also my website, damontheagent.com. And don't go to anything, whether it's Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok. They're all Damon the Agent. The recap is Cash offers. Cash offers not always necessarily cash. A lot of times cash offers is what's used called a hard money loan through a hard money lender. And that's normally a short-term loan, but it has a high interest rate for most properties that are being renovated and flipped. Also, the Q&A, the question of the day is, could you list a property with one person instead of both people who are on the deed? And the answer is yes, but you cannot sign off on the contract nor the closing disclosures without the other party unless they give you the power of attorney to do so. And then therapy is needed. People, we can all use therapy, whether you believe it or not. My thing is though is if you're looking to be a better person, if you're looking to be a better person for yourself, if you're looking to be a better person for your children, if you're looking to be a better person for your grandchildren or for your mate or for your coworker or for your mother or father, if you just want to be a better person for you, period, I suggest to talk to someone. And it can start with a close friend, but the only difference with close friends compared to a therapist is close friends are biased. So whatever you tell them, they're going to agree with you in most cases. It's very few people in your life that's going to actually hold you accountable for the mess that you do in life. Very few people. And sometimes it ain't always your so-called close friends. It's people who are not your close friends. So I would strongly suggest, because they can pull out things in you that only they can see. Like I said, I started taking it recently, and what was enlightened to me was an eye opener. It was really an eye opener. And honestly, I think if I never spoke with this person, I would have never identified it, because it was the way that things are said. And sometimes it's not what you say, it's how you say it that can be most impactful in many ways. So again, I thank you all for joining me today. Today is Veterans Day. Happy Veterans Day to all the veterans out there again. Thank you for joining me each and every Friday at 12 noon. I shall see you next Friday. You all have a great weekend, and thank you. Follow me again on all social media platforms, Damon the Agent. Talk to you soon.